straight on. Start with the skull straight on. And I kind of want to move you past, like, when was the last time you guys did a portrait? Or did a teacher ever teach you how to do a portrait?
Yeah.
What grade? Senior in high school? Okay, so this will be pretty close. So usually, like, what I like to do is kind of figure everything out from the brain, and then you see how the mask of the face falls off of the cranium, and then the spine is back here. So I typically, like when I'm doing this, like if I'm doing a profile, I'll draw like the brain and then hang a mask off the face. And that way when I do the neck, it's back here. So that's like the cartoon character, or my structure that I have for doing a face. So before I do anything, the eyes are halfway. So straight on, I figure out the cranium. Well, this is blocking everything right now, right? I start out with the cranium, and then I'll end up with an overall oval shape. So then from this point down, I hang the jaw, and that's just a loose line. And this is like a graph that you can draw out before you even put the face in there. So halfway across. So from the top to the bottom, this is halfway. Your eyes. And it's like, I think of it as like the bridge of the nose. So put a center mark down. And every time I do one of these, I try to curve it a little bit. There's no straight lines on your face. There's invisible straight lines, but not real ones. And then halfway between here and here, I'll put the upper eyelid. So it's one eyelid, and then the same width as the other eyelid. And then usually and that's your pupils. So they're usually lidded by your upper eyelid, unless you got like a medical issue, like not Gene Wilder, but Marty Feldman had like bulging eyes. The actor that did Marty Feldman had these bulging eyes. You would have to draw him differently. So anyway, so I find where my eyes are halfway, and that means my eyebrows are going to be up in here somewhere. And then from here to here, halfway, is the base of the nose. So from here to here, halfway is the nose. And then the nose is usually from the corners of the eyes. When you bring a line down, your nose is either outside that or inside that. That's observation on your subject. And then halfway from here to here, is the mouth. And I typically, and then you find the size of the mouth. You come down from the pupils, and this is looking straight on. This is looking at the face straight on, not, even though the head's on a swivel and can be all over the place. This is just to find the basic structure straight on. Ideal world. The upper lip is usually in shadow most of the time, sun coming down. So you typically draw that, and then the mouth. The bottom lip. The bottom lip is usually the brightest spots on the face, or the tip of the nose here, and maybe up in here. So the bottom lip, don't close the space. Don't make it you know, a variation on a football. It's like the eyes. Don't make one of the things I think everybody does right away is make this football for the eye. And typically the eye is, you know, your eye's about the size of a little smaller than a ping pong ball, and it has an upper eyelid that usually goes there. It has like a little crease above. This is where the lashes are. And then below you have like a tear duct you can see, and below it comes up and doesn't make it all the way to the corner. Usually you have and then your okay, so lower, so that's what's going on. That's what we're going to go on with the eye. So halfway, so your upper, so the typical mistake is to close it, but typically you don't. The only time it closes up is like bright lipstick, or the colors of the lips change it, but typically you need to check do your observation. This is where the shadows start coming in. Your ears, when you go to find the ear holes are usually just below the eyes, and then you find your ears here. And this is where, you know, you're 70, your ears are down here. Your baby, your ears are smaller and up higher. Your ears kind of get bigger as you go older. Also, everybody has, when you get into drawing everybody's ears, that's where it's like, wow, we got some weird looking ears. Everybody. So anyway, that's the ears, and that's if they're not hidden by hair or, you know, so this is like the basic structure of the face. This is like, once you have this, divided it, come down, you find this, you can, you know, study this more and get pretty familiar with it, and then start working at Disney World, doing the pastel portraits. I'm sure this is the structure. You can almost have this ready to go, before somebody even sits down in front of you, if you know it's going to be straight on. So observation, that's when you look for the neck. You know, model-y girls, usually underweight here, linebackers, your ears are in here. Your hair, your neck, sorry. Your neck's in here, and then hair is observation, whatever's on. If you're balding up there, yeah, no. You got nothing. You got nothing on me, man. But anyway, this is basic. So I want you to get it to practice getting it to this point, and then your mirror. So you can put your mirror up. I think you can put your mirror up. I always draw myself younger than I am if I'm doing this. Okay. It's not working. I want you to at least practice putting in some tone. There we go. So with the nose, it's really easier to get like a light coming down across the face. This is where I'm not sure how to energize you guys into doing this. Maybe put a tone across it, like we did the Kamascura. And then with that, you can do some highlights. And you're subject to what was going on in the last class. It might be enough to just practice doing the structure of the face, like what you see. a couple of times, but I also want you to try to, that's where I want to have more dramatic lighting on myself, but this is like from the last class. I was having a hard time with them looking at putting tone in, like there's a shadow. You typically find a shadow under the nose. And if you don't have any other tone in there, it looks like a mustache. So it's like this hesitancy to not put tone in there. And so I'm looking for you to kind of find tone and structure in this. Does that make sense? And maybe try doing a. So I'm wanting you to do this self-portrait using your mirror, obviously. And like if you're wearing glasses, you have to usually draw the face in before you put the glasses on. And then I'm gonna draw myself out in what I looked like when I was, 27. And I had better than 20/20 vision up till I was right at 40, and then all of a sudden started making too many typos at work, and they're like, okay, get glasses. It's what? 20/20, yeah. It was a little bit of a panic attack to have to all of a sudden go all your life with really good vision, and then all of a sudden your vision's dropped off. Okay, so. Okay, well, I'm trying to throw the tones in really fast. This is where you can lift out. And this is also where I'm, looking for you to work faster at the lights. It's easier when you have dramatic lighting. And this is okay, so I keep looking for highlights. Is this kind of like the lessons you had when you did the portraiture? Okay, so that's technically homework. So that's I have a homework assignment where I want you to do the eyes. So typically the eye is this big. It's lidded. You have a tear duct over here, and then you have, the bottom eyelid doesn't quite make it over to, and then you have the upper, and then the eyebrow. And the eye, the eye sits back in the socket. The eye sits back in the socket and then has this shadow coming down. So that's, noses, you try, like everybody wants to put that bridge in like this. Look for the shadow. Look for, like, if there's a shadow, more dominant shadow on one side and the other, and try to, like one of the things that happens, like when we shoot fashion models, you typically want to de-emphasize the nose as much as possible. It's usually just, the smallest little hint of a nose down at the bottom, and no big outstanding bridge. You usually flash it so it's all gone. But when you're drawing it, you really want to have like a dramatic light coming across one side so that it's easier to describe the bridge of the nose. I think that's the way the lighting is in here with the neon on it. It comes down, and I can see, And I would say I don't want it to look like Wii characters, but the last time I looked at the Wii game, they were pretty good. When you picked out your nose and your eyes and your mouth, they improved it quite a bit. The mouth is I typically say to draw the upper lip. Usually match it up to about corners of the eyes, unless you're Julia Roberts and it's out here. You know, and I don't know, there's other actors that have small mouths that be about the width of the nose, but that's where you like look up, and then you can, but see how, and then I highlight the lower lip, typically, and then it starts looking a little bit more normal, right? Whatever normal is. And then you start working in your, you know, and what I like about it is when you have a tone down here, then you can start seeing the structure. So this is like straightforward structure of where things are, you know, halfway between the chin and the eye, base of the nose, and then halfway from the nose to the chin is right across the mouth. And then observation starts falling in. That's where you come back and you do observation of the chin. Observation of somebody's chin.